Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down one of the greatest transformations in modern football. How Jürgen Klopp took a Liverpool team known for its brilliant, beautiful chaos and systematically forged it into a relentless, tactical machine that conquered everything.
Okay, so to really get the genius of what Klopp built, you have to rewind. You have to understand the absolutely beautiful mess that he inherited first. We're talking about the Brendan Rodgers era, specifically the 2013-14 season. Now this team, they were an absolute thrill ride. Going forward, they were electric, playing with this kind of reckless abandon that was just pure joy to watch.
And boy, could they score 101 goals. Just get that sink in. They were powered by one of the most lethal front threes the league has ever seen. Suarez, Sturridge, and a young Raheem Sterling. On the day, they were completely unplayable. But, and this is the huge but, here's the fatal flaw. The reason this team is a bit of a tragedy. They let in 50 goals. 50. Basically, for every 2 they scored, they'd let one in at the other end. And that leaky defense is exactly what cost them the title, by just 2 agonizing points. So that was the big question, right? That was the puzzle hanging over Liverpool. What's the point of all that attacking firepower if your back door is always wide open? Well, in October 2015, the club hired the one man they thought had the answer. See, Klopp's solution wasn't just to go out and buy a few new defenders. No, he brought something much bigger, a radical new identity, an entire philosophy he'd perfected back at Borussia Dortmund. This quote, it gets right to the heart of everything he believes. What he's saying is, forget waiting for one guy, your classic number 10, to create a moment of magic. For Klopp, the best moment to create a chance is the exact second you've just won the ball back. So what even is gegenpressing? Well, the idea is pretty simple, but doing it is incredibly hard. Instead of dropping back into your defensive shape when you lose the ball, the whole team immediately swarms the opponent. You turn their attack into your best goal-scoring opportunity. It's basically defending by attacking. Okay, but a philosophy is just an idea, right? You need the right players to actually pull it off. And gegenpressing, well, it is demanding. It takes incredible fitness, smarts, and total commitment from everyone. So Klopp started a very careful, multi-year rebuild to find the perfect engines for his machine. And you can literally see the logic here. You can watch him building the machine piece by piece, year by year. First, he adds lightning speed and goals with Mané. Then, even more firepower with Salah. But the real masterstroke was when he spent big to finally fix that defense, bringing in a titan like Virgil van Dijk and a world-class keeper in Alisson. That was the game changer. So, with all the right players finally on the board, Klopp's 4-3-3 formation just clicked. This wasn't just a collection of great players anymore. It was a perfectly connected system, and it became one of the most feared setups in all of world football. What made it so deadly was how every single player's role was designed to help the others. And at the very heart of it all was Roberto Firmino, the false 9. He wasn't your typical striker. He dropped deep into midfield, which would drag defenders with him, and that created these huge, empty spaces for the speed of Salah and Mané to just explode into. It was pure genius. So, this is how that press actually worked. It was a coordinated trap. First, the forwards would position themselves to block any easy passes into the middle of the field. This forced the other team to play the ball out wide, towards the sideline, which is exactly where Liverpool wanted them. The second that pass was made, the trap would spring. The whole team would shift over and just swarm the guy on the ball, winning it back in the most dangerous part of the pitch. And the results of this philosophy, this patient rebuild, and this suffocating system, total and complete domination. That beautiful chaos from before was gone. It was replaced by a calculated, relentless pressure that just ground teams into dust. The numbers really tell the whole story. I mean, the transformation was just staggering. Remember those 50 goals they conceded back in 2014? By the 2018-19 season, with Van Dijk and Alisson as the foundation, that number was slashed to just 22. The fatal flaw wasn't just fixed, it was gone. With the machine fully built and firing on all cylinders, the trophies just had to follow. First, in 2019, they conquered Europe, winning the club's 6th Champions League. And then, the very next year, they got the one they craved most of all. The Premier League title, the Holy Grail. The one trophy that had slipped through their fingers for 3 long decades.
And really, this felt inevitable. It wasn't some miracle season. It was the climax of a 5-year masterclass in building a team. Have a clear philosophy, find the absolute perfect players for it, and then execute that vision to perfection. All of which leaves us with a pretty big final thought. What's more important to building a title-winning team? A revolutionary system, or having the perfect players to run it? Klopp's incredible journey at Liverpool seems to scream the answer, maybe, just maybe, you can't truly have one without the other.